Welcome. We're back. That should be good. Hope everybody's doing well. Another day in the market. I'm gonna mod the guy right now in the chat. There you go. Alright. Yeah, hope everybody's doing well. Another day in the market. Not the best day for the overall indices. The S&P was down 1%. The Russell was down around 1%. Same for the NASDAQ. But the ARK was actually flat today. And actually a lot of the swings held up pretty nicely despite the other indices falling. The Dow Jones was also down 1%. So it's kind of like all the major indices were down about 1% today altogether. But the ARK ETF did just relatively stay flat. I believe it was green earlier in the day. But yeah, we had the FOMC minutes around 2 p.m. EST, a lot of volatility around that. And then afterwards, really in the last, I think like half an hour of the day is when things started really selling off, especially for large caps. So we're going to talk about everything. I saw Neutron Flux Labs say in the chat, but as you all know, while people are hopping into the stream, we're just going to look at Bitcoin and talk about the crypto trades. Then we'll talk about the overall market. There's actually maybe two things that are really interesting to me about the market. Actually, maybe even three. We're going to talk about them. Then I'm going to talk about Clover, Fisker, all the other ongoing trades. We'll do take requests. You know the whole entire drill, unless you're new to the stream, and then you don't. But for Bitcoin, under the 200-day moving average now, still between 41K and 50K. I mean, it's really just 50-50 to me. You just went straight up and straight down. That's all you've done in this range the last two times you were here. So you're right in the middle of it. I'm very neutral on Bitcoin for the short term. I just want to see it hold above 41K like I've been saying on stream. Nothing changed since last night. Not that I can really see. Maybe a little bit of a down-sloping channel or falling wedge. Maybe that's starting. I'll leave it on my chart. We'll see what it turns into. But other than that, not too much. Looking at the altcoin trades right now. Chainlink trade is up still around 70%. It got super close to the third target. Almost I mean, it did go up 100% since the entry. It went up like 102%. It just needed to go up 1 more percent to hit the final target. But you figure that's exactly what will happen. It'll go up 102% since the entry, but then 1% away from the third target is obviously where it's going to top out. I mean, can't be surprised, of course. But the NU trade is up currently about 29%, which is good. And the FIL trade also pulled back near the first target, up around 22%. So crypto is doing pretty well right now. For the stock market though, not the best day. We're going to talk about everything. And yeah, let me just take a look at the chat for a second. I haven't even looked at the chat yet. And then we'll get into Clover and everything else in a little bit. But did I miss anything in the chat? Jordan says we'll talk about Clover, the ongoing trades, then do ticker requests. Don't drop them yet. Yeah, don't drop the tickers in the chat. All of you who have been watching the stream, you all know the whole entire structure, but I like to repeat it a lot in case there's newer viewers in here and they're just kind of confused about why I'm kind of all over the place. I kind of have like a structure to the stream that I like to follow just so I can cover as much as possible. The tea is over there. It's cooling down. I just warmed it up. Burry versus Woods. Pick your fighter. We'll see. Cheddar Free says housing starts weren't good numbers today. Ghost in the chat says what's goody champ. I need to see this dragon. I have one I'm a holler at you about called the Loch Ness. It's super rare and made up by the ghost, but it's nasty. I need to know how you feel. Yeah, we'll take a look at the Loch Ness dragon later on. Rips Runners T says super manipulation in the IWM today. We'll talk about it. We're going to talk about it actually in a minute here. We're going to talk about all the indices before we get into Clover. Right, because really, honestly, Clover has just been following the market this whole entire week. And it was extremely flat today. I mean, it was trading within, I think, like a 2 or 3% range from the low to the high. Co-creators in the chat. Shadow Free says Fed participants showed that we have made progress towards the maximum employment and price stability goals in the minutes today. Jordan says, didn't the St. Louis Fed today or yesterday make a statement on crypto calling it a scam too? I'm not too sure about that. And yeah, that's pretty much the majority of the chat. We already got like almost 50 people in here, which is really a really good start to the stream. Make sure to hit that like button. We already at 25 likes, not even say anything yet. So really appreciate that. Also, if you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button. We're about to talk about the market, then we'll talk about Clover. And also, this is the 200th stream on my channel. Yesterday we hit a milestone, which was 3,000 subscribers, and tonight another milestone, which is my 200th stream in under 10 months. So I started streaming, I believe my first stream was October 20th of last year. So yeah, in under 10 months, 200 streams. It's quite a bit, I would say. You know, I think that's about 66% of, you know, the last 300 days I have been live. So yeah, I always like just showing up, talking about things that's in my mind or on my mind, and just sharing with all of you, trying to teach. So hopefully, whether you started watching 2 streams ago or 200 streams ago, you've been enjoying the channel. But yeah, appreciate all the support. Thank you for the 30 likes right there. And let's talk about the market. So today, Fed minutes came out. It was a really flat day until the minutes came out around 2. Right away, we got a little bit of a jump in the market when the minutes dropped, and then kind of sold off into the close after that, like 1 candle run up. So for the S&P 500, not the best looking patterns right now. I mean, you have triple classic bearish divergence on the daily, and on this 1 candle, you bearishly engulfed a bunch of different candles. It's not like a textbook bearish engulfing because it didn't bearishly engulf the candle prior to it, but I mean, technically it did open a lot lower and close way lower, but yeah, we'll see. I don't even know if you can consider gap downs to be bearish engulfings, but regardless, not the best price action, and you definitely took out a lot of other green days within 1 day. But really, again, the market has just been on autopilot. We've just been slightly going higher and higher and higher, and it kind of looks like a 1% move is a huge move, but if you zoom out, it's really nothing compared to what we've been doing this whole entire year. So I have no clue whether this is a 1 day thing where we pull back, or if this is going to continue for the rest of the month, or who knows how long. But I'm just still very neutral on the market. There are some bearish technicals, but you know, we have seen a lot of bearish technicals underperform in the last few weeks or the last month for the S&P 500, and then also the trend right now is just still super strong regardless of 1 day. So we'll see how all of those things that are going on fundamentally with the market continue to affect things. And yeah, going into tomorrow for the S&P 500, I mean, there could be room, if we continue selling off, there could be room down to like 4370. That's like your lows from the end of last month, and it's also a gap fill from July 22nd. That's really it for the S&P 500. For the Russell 2000, fortunately, it bearishly rejected a reclaim of this demand line. So yesterday it broke under this white demand line. Today it ran back up. It was above it for a little bit, and then I guess when the market was pulling back, this came all the way back down. So this is now the 2nd day in a row it has closed under it. The last time we broke this demand line, it only closed under it for 1 day. So this time we closed under it twice now, and your next support will be at 213.5 for the IWM, which is your 200-day moving average. NASDAQ kind of just a little bit rolling over here, not much of a technical update there. And then the ARK ETF, it was flat today despite all the other major indices being down 1%. It just kind of, you know, held its gains, a little bit of like a doji candle almost. I think it's just a lot of indecision on yesterday's and today's candles. If you just look at them, you know, you had highs, you had lows, but you could just kind of close around where you opened, relatively flat days. But yeah, I mean, I think as long as the ARK can continue to close above 115, it still looks fine to me. If it breaks that level, then that's when you can get a little bit scary on the ARK for all the people who trade mid caps and growth stocks in here. So, you know, those are some of the indices from the market. Other 2 things I want to talk about. First of all, the VIX volatility index. Today was the highest close for the VIX, and it did also close above the 200-day moving average, but this was the highest close for the VIX since July 19th of last year. And above 20 is typically when you'll hear CNBC talking about the VIX is getting at riskier levels and stuff like that. You know, historically 20 has been an area where many times it tests it and it pulls back, but times that it does get above 20, it can go, you know, a decent amount higher. So we talked about that quadruple classic bullish divergence on the VIX, like literally in the beginning of last month. And then you just kind of made hidden bullish divergence on the VIX. Now, if we take a look at this, you made a higher low on price, but a lower low on your MACD. Dan with the $3 super chat. Let's get some vibes in the chat right now for Dan. Thank you very much for the $3 super chat, and also just dropping the 200 for the 200th live stream. Really appreciate it. Let's get some vibes in the chat. And then yeah, after the VIX, the final thing that I really think is interesting here, the dollar. So the dollar typically or historically tends to act a little bit, how would I say, detached from the market. Sometimes you'll see the dollar going down while the market's going up. For an example, you know, from March to pretty much December of 2020, after we bottomed out from the COVID crash on the S&P 500, we relatively just ran. We had a little bit of a weird couple months in 2020 fall, but you can see that for the majority of last year, the dollar was in a downtrend in this falling wedge, while the S&P 500 was in an uptrend after the COVID crash. Probably one of the best 9 months ever for the market, if not the best 9 months ever, from a percent change, but also a dollar change on the S&P 500. And then now we're seeing some interesting variables on the US dollar. So first off, you have hidden bullish divergence. You had classic bullish divergence, but now that's turning into hidden bullish divergence on the daily. Very, very similar to the VIX like we just talked about. And then also you have a cup and handle, right? So you have a cup and handle, which you're currently trying to break out of right now on the dollar. But inside of the handle of this cup and handle is another cup and handle. You could probably kind of see it right over here, but I highlighted it on the 4 hour, where you have a cup and handle inside the larger cup and handle. And this does tend to happen quite often. I've seen this type of setup quite a bit. And it's also trying to break out of that. So, I mean, there still is no candle confirmation and anything can happen tomorrow, but definitely is trying to break out here. So for stocks and cryptos, we'll see if this affects things, because I know historically, I believe Bitcoin's, all-time high in, when was the 20K all-time high? It was 2017. Bitcoin was at its first major not first major all-time high, but it was at probably the most famous all-time high before last year. Obviously there was many of those for Bitcoin in the last decade, but I feel like everybody kind of talks about that 20K all-time high. So let's see where the dollar was at the end of 2017, which is right over here. So you can see the dollar was kind of running up into that, and then it actually came back down with crypto. So it's really interesting to see how this thing kind of acts differently in different types of markets at different times of the year. It's just something to keep an eye on for the US dollar. Just wanted to bring that up. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the majority of the market coverage. Let me take a look at the chat now. Let's see what else I missed. We'll talk about Clover in a second here. Yeah, make sure to join the Discord if you haven't already. The link is in the description. Where did I leave off in the chat? Steven says, congratulations on the 200. Thank you very much, Steven. Appreciate it. Brad says, yo champ, congrats on the 200 milestone. Been following your channel for a very long time, and these streams are always a vibe. More prosperity ahead for you. Let's get it. Really appreciate that, Brad. You've been here for a long time. Thank you for all the support and all the help in the chats. And just everywhere. Really appreciate it. Neutron Flux Labs with the $4 tip. Let's get some vibes in the chat for Neutron Flux Labs. I tried a super chat, just a clown emoji, but that wasn't an option. Please take the $4 and help a super chat dev add simple clown emoji. The Streamlabs link is better regardless, because super chats, YouTube takes 30% of the revenue, or whatever you pay, YouTube gets a 30% cut. And then with Streamlabs, they don't take anything. It's just a little bit of like a PayPal fee if you tip through that, or a little bit of like a credit card fee, which is like, I think 1% or something. But yeah, thank you very much for the $4 tip. Let's get some vibes in the chat for Neutron Flux Labs. Really appreciate it. And yeah, let's talk about Clover here in a second, or right now actually. Clover, not much changed. Really flat day. It closed down 1.5%. It was kind of right around 0% for a lot of the day. It feels like it definitely had a little bit of a morning flush, and then just kind of trended a little bit higher, and just it was majorly flat for the day. It just really didn't move much today. And then, you know, when the market started dipping in the final hour of the day, Clover I think went from like $8.15 to like $8.05, so it just felt like 10 cents. So not too much of anything today. If you look at the daily chart, you know, really no change. It's just still kind of in this range, but we got even more on the chart. And again, I know it just sounds like I'm making up all these different weird named animal patterns so I can get views or whatever, but like I always say, feel free to fact check me. And we got another one. It's in the title and the thumbnail of the stream, the dragon pattern. So if the falling wedge on the daily wasn't enough, if the hidden bullish divergence on the daily wasn't enough, if the 4-hour bullish crab wasn't enough, if the 4-hour Adam and Eve double bottom wasn't enough at a historical level, and the 1 hour Wyckoff accumulation wasn't enough. Actually, let me go over to the 30-minute. I think that's where I have it charted. And if the 30-minute Wyckoff accumulation wasn't enough, we also got a little bit of a 1 hour setup, the dragon pattern, which it's a decently bullish pattern. You know, there's a lot of different ways you could kind of just look at this, but the easiest way to put it is you have a double bottom. Typically, you'd like to see a little bit of a higher low double bottom, which you did see over here. From this low to this one, you made a slightly higher low. And then you have a little bit of a trend line or a supply line where the hump of the dragon is kind of in between your two bottoms. And then you kind of have like the neck over here. So let me pull up an example of this pattern before people think I'm just making up BS. Let's see if I can find the one. Yeah, right over here. So open image. All right, let's see how small that's going to be. It's not too bad. I mean, it's kind of small, but you could see over here, this is like the head of the pattern, which, let me move this over, which would be right over here for Clover on the 1 hour. Then you have this first move down to your lowest low. There you go, first move down to your lowest low. Then you come back up to have, what's it called again? It doesn't say here, like I just set like the hump of the pattern, I guess. I think I said another name for it, but you get kind of the middle point between the two bottoms. That's where you create your supply line off of, and then you have your second bottom, hopefully a higher low bottom, which you also did get on Clover. And then, yeah, so it kind of was trying to break out of it today, but it was really horrible timing with the market. Right when it was trying to break out of it, that's when the S&P and the NASDAQ started falling, and then it dropped like 10%, but it was really just in a range between $8 and $8.24 the whole entire day, so not too much of a change there. And then going into tomorrow, of course, like we talked about, we still have that Wyckoff accumulation potentially occurring. Obviously the $8 support, then you got a $7.85 support, which I think is kind of your spring for this Wyckoff accumulation zone. And by spring, I mean your lowest level of support that you quickly bounce off of. And then finally, you only tested it once in this downtrend. It was your lowest point of this current downtrend since June. And then you have 767, which is also a historical area from the past. So it's just strange to see everything going on fundamentally, everything going on from a technical standpoint with Clover, everything going on with the FTDs and the short interest and the options chain, and just nothing. The price just really hasn't done anything, but that's just kind of how accumulation can be, right? You just have so much building up, and then finally, you know, hopefully things just kind of take off out of nowhere, but it's not really out of nowhere. It's after waiting for a month and a half of just looking at the chart, you know, really being quiet. So yeah, you know, that's definitely what I've been, the new pattern I'm looking at, you know, with dragon patterns. There are the simplified ones like this. There's also like harmonic type of dragon patterns that you can kind of look for, but I don't really use Fibonacci on dragons. I just kind of use like the geometrical lineups to trade them mainly, but teach their own. And again, just piling on to the list of how many things we can talk about for Clover at this point, except nothing has yet to happen. And like I've always talked about for the last few weeks, it's all about the volume, right? You could have as many bullish whatevers you want on your chart, as many shorts, as many option calls, but none of that matters at all if there's no volume, if there's no people actually buying shares and giving demand into the chain of supply and demand for an equity or for a stock. So none of this technically matters unless buyers come in and we see, you know, bigger volume that we saw previously in June or even in April, or just something that's not super dry and moving within a 2 or 3% range the whole entire day. So yeah, volume, I've been saying it for a while now, that's probably the biggest, or yeah, it's like the biggest part of the equation that's not there, right? So believe it or not, for a stock to move, people actually have to buy it. And right now, I think there are people buying it, hence the accumulation, but there's kind of an equilibrium going on with Clover where the buyers and sellers are kind of evened out for the short term, whether that be with dark pools or shorts or whatever it is. At the end of the day, you can combine all of those things that everybody wants to talk about, and the price will just kind of quickly, within one number, summarize all of it for you. Right now, there still is not enough demand on Clover and not enough volume to get it to higher prices to allow those things like a short or a gamma squeeze to occur. So, I mean, again, that August 20th options chain is still very, very loaded for Clover, but might mean nothing if no volume comes in. So, I mean, really, I think it would be really tough for on Friday to, unless there's like a catalyst on Friday, but I think it would be really tough to get gamma squeeze on the same day of options expiration unless you got like a push the day before. So in terms of like a gamma squeeze this week, like, you know, the probability is lowering by the day till we get closer to Friday. And unfortunately, the first 3 days of the week were very, very quiet. So that definitely did not help. That's probably what market makers want the most with max pain, just relatively low movement within this $8 to $9 range. That's probably, you know, for people who are trying to stay neutral on the stock, it's probably what they want. So we'll see what happens. The options train is still loaded for 820. A lot of calls will expire worthless on Friday unless the price gets above those strikes. That's just kind of how it's looking for right now. So it's always possible, but volume needs to come in first. We'll see what can happen. Even if it's not this week, we can take a look at the 827s. Actually, they're not even close to the 820s. Wow. So very, very different numbers there. But if we look at the overall options train, it kind of still is there. So yeah, we'll see what happens. This is mind-boggling, right? Just looking at these numbers for this Friday. Even on the $43 strike, there's still over 6,000 in open interest right now. I'd be very surprised if it gets to 43 by Friday. I'll tell you that. So that's really it for Clover. I mean, not too much of a change. There's not much to talk about when you only, you know, move around 1%. It's just kind of an update with the dragon pattern that did actually form, or has been. It's not even like it just formed today. It's been trying to form for a couple days, but it needed some more data on like a second bottom for it to occur. And yeah, let me take a look at the chat for a second here. Thank you for the 40 likes. Keep hitting that like button. Keep hitting that subscribe button. If you're not in the Discord, the link's in the description. Let's see what I missed in the chat. Actually, looks like I missed a lot. New Trump Flux Lab says, well, we need to get Champ his own payment processor. Streamlabs is good though. And then Steven says Bitcoin back over 45K. It certainly is right now. A couple altcoins doing nicely in the past hour. And Matt says this dude's spitting. And yeah, also just, yeah, that's very, very true. I didn't even bring that point up when we were talking about the market. The guy just said just manage risk of indices pull. Yeah, the overall market can override everything here, right? The overall Clover has been following the overall market intraday for the past 3 days. So if the market just absolutely takes a dive tomorrow, I think most likely Clover would probably fall with the market too. I mean, there's always a chance that it diverges. Maybe meme stocks have a good day or whatever, but yeah, obviously that's why we always talk about the market on the stream, because it affects all the other individual stocks we talk about later. That's why I kind of have the market analysis in the beginning. So you got to keep all that in mind for sure. What else? A lot of dragon emojis in the chat. Anything else I missed? Jack says, hey, just joined the stream. Are you doing takers today? Yeah, I'll be doing takers probably in about 15 minutes or so. I'll do take requests. Jack also says, sucks being in the UK up to 3 a.m. to catch your streams. Yeah, I'm just really busy throughout the day, so I can't really stream anytime earlier. And also, I've done a lot of polls asking everybody what time you want me to stream, and every single time I've done a poll, 9 p.m. EST has always been the time that got like selected the most. So yeah. And then Cheddar Free says job stated tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that. So yeah, apart from that, we'll see what happens. Anything else I want to kind of talk about before we get into the rest of the charts? I mean, one other thing today was like a lot of stocks are doing very, very important technical things. Like earlier in the morning, like Clover was trying to break above like the 820 level for a little bit. Fisker actually did get above the 1455 level, which is super important, but then the market closed it under that level to end off the day. And then also for the X trade, we're going to come back to it, but it broke out on the 4 hour. It confirmed the breakout on the 4 hour, but then again, the last hour of the day made the daily candle close under the breakout point of the cup and handle. So a lot of technicals definitely did get messed with in the final hour of the day. We're going to talk about everything in a second here, but yeah. Gumchol says, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, says, what would cause to stock price on CLOV if most of them go out of the money? I think you're asking like what would happen to the stock price if all those options expire out of the money. I don't think it would be too much of a difference for the overall stock price. Just a lot of options traders would lose money mainly. And it's not like, you know, typically I don't even think most people would exercise their options even if they did get into the money. So I don't think it'd be too much of a difference for the actual stock price. It would just be a difference for the options train and without that you can't really get a game of squeeze. So yeah, and then also Jack, to your point about watching the streams late and stuff, there's always the timestamps. I don't know if you know, but I actually haven't seen Medi in the chat tonight, but Medi always does the timestamps after the stream is over, and I tweet them out and ping the Discord when the timestamps are up. Zeke for Bleak says, congrats on 200 streams, bro. Really enjoy your streams. Keep up the good work. Catch you guys later. Gonna catch some sleep. Have a good one, and thank you. And yeah, so apart from that, I think I've covered most of the stuff I want to talk about. I think I also read most of the chat, so I think I'm going to recap the ongoing trades now, and then we're just going to do take requests for the rest of the stream. Also, one other thing I wanted to talk about, and again, the only times I'll talk about premium on the stream is either if I'm recapping a trade from premium that already finished, or if there's some sort of a sale or something going on. And on Saturday I'm going to do like a little bit of a workshop, because I do share a lot of day trades in the premium group, and especially for newer people in the premium group who are not experienced traders, I think I definitely feel like they might need some help with risk management and what to look at on day trades, because mainly on the streams I only talk about like swing trades. So I'm only looking at like the daily and the 4 hour for most of the charts I look at. But when you're day trading, you typically look at the 1 hour and under. So I decided, I haven't really even made any videos in the course about day trading either. I want to probably pretty soon for everybody to watch, and I also wanted to make sure that it was kind of like a, how do I put it? Like, I don't want it to be like a huge thing. I just want it to be like a kind of like a private workshop, because if it's like so many people, then it's harder for me to kind of connect with everybody like one-on-one. So on Saturday afternoon at 3 p.m. EST, I'm going to be doing like a little bit of a workshop there. If anybody who's been on the fence about premium wants to kind of be in that workshop, I mean, I was thinking only doing it for like 45 minutes or so. But if like people want me to stay around longer and there's just like a lot of questions, I'll stick around for as long as I need to. It'll be on Saturday afternoon. The link for premium's in the description. So yeah, I mean, just for people who don't know what's in it, you get options ideas, weekly watch lists, and swing trade ideas, alongside just intraday charts on the tickers I'm trading. So there'll also be the workshop this weekend. That's not like a weekly thing or anything. It's just kind of like a one-time thing. I don't even know if I can record it, because I want it to be like a very, again, like personal, like helpful workshop. So I want to kind of create an environment where everybody can kind of be like open and honest about like how they're doing with trading and stuff, which is why I don't really know if I should record. I'm gonna have to just ask everybody when I start the workshop if they're okay with me recording it, because if I do, then I feel like it might downgrade the quality of what we talk about, and everybody's gonna kind of try and stay a little bit more closed up, I guess. I don't know, but just wanted to bring it up to offer that to everybody, so you can't say you didn't know. And then also, I used to do classes, and this is technically a better price than classes in general. So it's like on top of only the class, you also get a whole entire month of premium. So kind of like combines everything. And then Jack says, how much is premium a month? And on average, how many trade ideas will you put out a month? Premium a month is 30 for your first month, and then 25 every single month after. Just as like a thank you for staying around. That's why it's $5 lower for every month you renew. And then on average, how many trade ideas will you put out? I don't know the exact average, and I can't really show this sheet on stream because it's gonna show all the tickers for this week, but let me just quickly look through the sheet. It looks like, and a lot of these are ongoing too, I would say in a month, probably around, I would think I'd probably put like 2 or 3 a week, maybe, depending on the week. So I'd probably say around like a dozen a month. Sometimes more, sometimes less. It depends on the market. It's not really a fixed number. It's more of just like when things are looking better, that's typically when I put out more, and then vice versa. So yeah, but a lot of day trades as well. I usually put out 3 or 4 day trade ideas every single week. Like this week, we did an ARC day trade yesterday, which I think was like a 25% gain yesterday. Oh no, it wasn't a day trade, we overnighted. And then today the ARC calls are up like 40% in the morning. And then there was one other one, Apple, also this morning. A little bit of a trade there. It was like a 25% move on calls. But yeah, just want to bring it up. I don't really talk about it too much on the stream unless there's a reason for me to do so. So links in the description if you're interested in that. And let's talk about the ongoing trades. Fisker is not an ongoing trade right now, but I always like talking about it on the stream. It tried to break back above 1455 today, and the market just kind of pulled back and didn't really have any time to confirm. It did, like just like X, it confirmed the first 4 hour candle, but it did not confirm on the daily because the market pulled back in the last hour of the day. So still looking to see if Fisker, not Clover, if Fisker can close the daily back above 1455, the support from January. If not, then I think the next level could be 12. So it's just really like either I think it can get back above this level and then it could just run again, or if it cannot get back above this level and if it continues to reject it like it did for the past 2 days, then there could be room back down to 12 to test that area, which could be also the PCZ of a bullish Scarly. So we'll see what happens with Fisker. It's really just all about right now. It's at the make or break area for the short term, in my opinion. Looked like it was finally crossing over the line today, and then the market just said nope. Jack also says for the premium stuff that's relatively cheap. I don't want to say the other group's name, but another group and others are up to $200. Yeah, I don't know any other group that is at the same price as mine for the amount of content and ideas that I share. I really don't think there's any. There might be a couple here and there, but like every single other group off the top of my head that I can name is at least 5 times higher a month than mine. I'm not going to name any names because I don't want to put other people on the spot. I'm also friends with a lot of people that run a lot of other groups, so I don't want to kind of, talk bad about them. I'm not talking bad, I'm just talking about the price. But yeah, and then also, to be fair, yeah, it's just mainly me kind of giving all the ideas, and a lot of other groups have like multiple people, so that is a fair point as well. But yeah, back over to the ongoing trades. RES down 11%. I think this is currently the worst performing trade, and it closed under 357, which was the support we've been talking about. So it's kind of hanging on by a thread going into tomorrow. First it needs to break back above 357, then it needs to get back above 4. Like that's not too easy to get back up, 12-13% before only falling down like another 1%. It's like hanging on by a thread. That's just kind of how the market is right now. On the flip side though, we did have some strength in a couple names today. The X swing trade was up 4% today, and the trade in all or in total is up 17% since the entry. So the X trade is off to a pretty nice start. On the 4 hour, so we have a 3-year cup and handle over here, and I think the neckline is around this $30 level from this high and this high. So on the 4 hour, it did actually close above the neckline, but then again, the market pulled back and it messed up the technicals for the trade. Super frustrating, and it did close under 30, so it did not close above the neckline. It was literally about to until the market fell, but still it was up 4% today. It's not too far away from the first target. Hopefully it gets there, and the trade's already up 17%, so good stuff there on the X trade. And then also the BlackBerry trade, we talked about that $9.60 level for the past week, for the past couple of weeks. We've been talking about this level. It tested it for a couple of days, and look where it bounced off of. The exact level we've been talking about on stream, right? It's a very, very historical level. Bounced off of it yet again. Very nice day. Also closed back above the 200-day moving average. Trade is still down, but much better off than it was yesterday. And then finally, the doc trade still hasn't moved. It's, I don't know, probably the slowest moving ticker I've ever put out a trade idea for. So that's really it for the rest of the ongoing trade ideas. Yeah, I mean, other than that, a little bit of a day trade recap from the premium group today was Apple. It was very, very quick. It was a 10-minute trade. I saw that. So there's like this, pennant ascending triangle formation that Apple was breaking out of yesterday, or actually broke out of it on Monday, and then yesterday was like back testing it, trying to flip the previous resistance into a support. This morning I noticed that it was kind of right above that line, so I gave out an idea. Within 10 minutes I think it went up like 25% or something, or almost 30%. They were on options. Obviously Apple did not go up 25% in 10 minutes, but they were on options, and then it had a nice 20-25 whatever percent bounce, and then it just gave up everything. It just kind of came back under this previous resistance line. It was looking pretty nice from a technical standpoint, and then it just kind of broke right under and then came all the way back down to the demand line. So from the supply line, it went to the demand line. Just wanted to bring this up for Apple because I know a lot of people have been looking at it in the Discord and on Twitter. So really interesting failure to hold the breakout today. We'll see what this looks like tomorrow, but it also depends on the market. I mean, it wasn't even down that much until like the final hour of the day. Then it just really started tanking with the market. And I guess that kind of works both ways, but yeah, that is the recap of the day. Bitcoin right around 45.1K. Hopefully enjoyed the recap. A little bit of a simpler one today, apart from the market, which was kind of weird. And of course, I just talked for 40 minutes straight, and now my tea is cold. I always forget. Always forget. Now I gotta drink cold tea. Like, tea is either good, like hot, or like iced. But like room temperature tea is like just not good. You're saying it's a bearish butterfly. I don't know if you're talking about on Apple. Maybe like this. Yeah, kind of. Never really got to the X to D PCZ, and it also blew past the 1618. Maybe if that's how you're looking at it. I don't know if you're looking at it in a different way. If that's what you were talking about. Post in Discord. I can't check the Discord right now because then all my Discord notifications are going to be making sounds in the stream, so I have to open up after the stream. Neutron Flux Lab says multiple folks will pump their Discord groups, and most of them are $200 to $500 a month based on my data. Confirmation bias, no alpha. No, I don't even know what no alpha means, but yeah, for sure. There's a lot of I've been in a few premium like type of groups, and well, I can say good things about every single one I've been in, but I do know of other ones that I have not been in, but I've heard word that they're just like scams. So I always try my best to be as active as possible everywhere in the Discord, whether it's the premium channels or the trading channels or the social channels. I was just trying, I don't know, just be a part of the community that I'm trying to build, right? I always want to be active and just talking, and you know, definitely compared to like January and February, sometimes things are slower on the Discord and in social media. I think it's just a very, very different type of market right now, but that's just a part of trading, you know. Neutron Flux Lab says, put that T by the MacBook exhaust and it'll stay hot. This MacBook really never gets hot. I mean, it's really, really good. If anybody has like an M1 MacBook with the M1 chip, it's really insane. I've had a few really good laptops before, but for like the size of this, it's perfect. Like, it's better than computers, like good computers. Like, the battery lasts me all day. It never overheats. It has a fan, but the only time the fan is ever turned on is if like if I'm rendering like a YouTube video or something like that's like super you know, I'm not gonna say advanced, but like it takes a lot of energy. And it's just really good. It's really fast too. Like, it opens Photoshop in like 2 or 3 seconds. It's a really, really good laptop, the MacBook Pro with the M1 chip. So I don't know, I just kind of randomly got into all of that, but I feel like MacBooks have a lot of hate because I guess maybe because of their prices, you know, price per specs, but this one was definitely worth it. Except sometimes I stream for so long and my battery is already low before I started streaming, and then I have to end the stream because I only has 2 ports. That's like the biggest issue I have. There's only like 2 open USB-C slots, so I can't really charge the MacBook while using my mic and my camera and my mouse and my other screen, if that makes sense. And then the guy says, plugs the MacBook while talking about the Apple stock. I smell a pump. Not a paid sponsorship. I wish Apple paid me, but they don't. Get a USB hub. I have one. I could probably show it. Let me try this out. I don't want to kind of show everything. It's right there. So that's kind of that. Look, I have the FTM sticker here as well. It says risk to reward on the back of my MacBook. And yeah, now I gotta line this all up again. All right, I think we're good. Jack says, don't the new MacBooks not have USB ports that make you pay for an adapter? Yeah. I mean, same thing when they changed over. They changed, like, they always change everything. I think it's for money, but also I think, you know, like, remember they had like the huge, not the huge, but like the wide chargers for like iPads and iPhones like 5 years ago, and then they switched over to the lightning cables. I guess the lightning cables are better and they make more sense, but still, like, even with AirPods, like taking out the wires from headphones, initially that was like a very I'm not going to say hated, but controversial thing. And now everybody loves it. Like, AirPods, I think, did more revenue last year than like some of the best companies in the world. I don't know. Let me see if I can pull up that chart. AirPods revenue versus tech companies. Let's see. Yeah, I can pull it up right here. I mean, look at that. So these are the AirPods. They did more in revenue last year than Adobe, Uber, Nvidia, AMD, Spotify, Square, Twitter, Shopify, and Snapchat. Like, sheesh. You know, they innovate. And sometimes when you have innovation, initially that doesn't have the best perception, but I think most of their innovations have aged pretty well, right? And from a business standpoint, like you also said, Jack, it's genius for sure. I don't know how we're talking about this and not stocks right now, but we'll do ticker requests in a second. I just want to finish up the rest of the chat. Neutron Flux Lab says, I don't hate on Apple and Macs, but because of right to repair and how they try and push independent repair, Apple pays me via their terrible board and laptop homework plans. I got that same sticker, champ. Yeah, sticker is amazing. If you want that sticker, it's the pinned chat. And also if you want other merch, like this FTM hat, Free Trading Movement, that's also in the pinned chat, as is all the other merch. I have a lot of merch in my closet, but I just have like a lot of hoodies and like sweaters and stuff, so I can't really wear them in summer, but I'll be wearing them in winter. Can't wait to wear my Fisker merch as well, but again, that's pretty, like, I'll be really hot wearing that in the middle of summer. I have a lot more long sleeve clothes than short sleeve. All right, so, oh, I did not know that Tesla AI Day is tomorrow. Thank you, Cheddar Freeze, for reminding me with that. All right, so I think I've procrastinated, or not procrastinated, but like pushed back ticker requests for like 20 minutes now. So let's actually look at tickers for all of you. Sorry about that. I just want to talk to the chat sometimes. And thank you, Cheddar Freeze, for dropping the merch link in the chat as well. So, oh yeah, Neutron Flux Lab has a lot of pieces of merch for sure. The jacket that you got is like super, super cool. But yeah, appreciate everybody who's been repping the merch. Let's do ticker requests now. Don't request anything that was up over 30% today. And yeah, Rips Runners Tea with the $5 tip. Let's get some vibes in the chat for Rips Runners Tea right now. And the message is appreciate you. I appreciate you too. Thank you very much for the $5. Don't request anything that was up over 30% today or that IPO'd within the last month, and nothing I say is financial advice. Is this a joke? It's probably a joke, the guy, but the guy says moon on the daily, Gartley starting from the start of trading to May, followed by bat, followed by double bottom-ish, bullish divergence. First of all, I don't know which moon you're talking about, but it's I don't even know. I mean, I don't think this can be a Gartley, and I don't see bullish divergence here. I don't think, and it's really gappy. I mean, this is most likely a joke, but if it's not, let me know in the chat. Not a joke? Alright, I'll look at it again. Neutron Flux Labs, thank you for all the tips coming in tonight. Really appreciate it. With the $6 tip, says, keep it up, champ. Neutron Flux Labs, thank you very much for the second tip of the night. Let's get some more vibes in the chat for Neutron Flux Labs. Really appreciate it. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for all the support. It's a real ticker. See, now with you requesting all the joke tickers, I'm actually getting confused. Is it this ticker? I'm on the 4 hour. That's most likely why. So you said Gartley starting from the start of trading to May. So this was the Gartley you're saying. All right, we'll see. And then what else? Yep, that's correct. Followed by a bullish bat. Okay. Alright, a little bit of an alternate bat there. Also hit the 2618 from X to D. Followed by double bottom-ish. Yeah, I'm gonna just get like a support around this $30 area. And bullish divergence is possible, not really developing just yet, but it is indeed possible. So yeah, I mean, I wish there was more data on this chart. I wish there was like a historical level, but the ticker name is Moon, and there are quite a few bullish harmonics in development here. You could probably find even more if you really just looked at all the different highs and lows. Apart from the harmonics, it looks like it's maybe in a little bit of like a falling wedge if you ignore these two fake outs. I mean, there's a few different ways you could chart this, honestly. But yeah, that's moon. We'll see if it moons eventually. And then I think after that, yeah, we'll look at Link, Jack, because Link is unfortunately a very frustrating ticker for me to look at. We'll talk about why. We'll talk about it probably next. Even though the Link trade is up like 70% since the entry right now. And then OCGN. Alright, sorry if I missed any. Got a little bit hectic in the chat, but right now I have AQST, Link, Square, LULU, Tattooed Chef, LAC, ALLO, Etsy, SOFI, Tesla, OCGN, and ChargePoint on my watch list. Alright, sorry if I missed any. We're gonna start with AQST. This low $3 area is pretty much your support historically. You definitely want to hold above that. Apart from that, you kind of have a bullish butterfly potentially double bottoming at the PCC. It's not perfect, but kind of is all right, if that's the best way to put it. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a double bottom at the PCC of a bullish butterfly. I'd say your next major resistance is like 475. That's also around your 200-day moving average. And I don't see much divergence. You actually do have classic bullish divergence already playing out on the daily MACD and RSI, but it's been moving up already. So that's AQST. Just want to see it hold above that low $3 range. Chainlink, we already talked about it earlier in the stream, so maybe XRP is a better one to look at, because Chainlink will already be in the timestamps. Medi, don't drop this one in the timestamps, but yeah, I mean, just regardless, it hit 2 targets of the trade. Currently it's up 70% since the entry, and it got up, at one point it was up 102% since the entry. The third target was for 103%, so it was 1% away from the final target, and it pulled back like 30%, which is amazing. But that's not really why I don't like Chainlink. The main reason I do not like Chainlink is because I used to, let's just say, I think I've said the exact numbers previously on stream, but let's just say I used to own Link down over here. That's all I'm gonna say. Right around over here is where I used to own Link, and where did I sell it? Right around over here. So I think it ended up being like a, you know, whatever amount percent. It was a nice trade, but could have been like probably, I'm not gonna say how much, but probably a lot of money if I would have just held it for 6 or 7 more months, but it's all good. Square. Ascending broadening wedge, it's near the demand line right now. And I think it's just within a range also, between 200 and 280. So it is near the top of the range. You kind of have some classic bearish divergence on the daily MACD. You definitely have it on the RSI. So technically a bearish pattern with bearish divergence on the RSI is not the best setup, but you are at a demand line, so this could be an area where you bounce and invalidate that. You're at your make or break area for Square. If you don't hold this, it could have room back down to 231, which is the 200-day moving average. If you do hold it, then you want to break above 280. Next up is LULU. Your closest support is like 387 from your previous highs last December. And I see your closest resistance is 406, because if we zoom in over here, you can see it was a few candle highs over here and then a few candle lows over here. Alright, so those are your 2 closest levels. If you break under 387, then your next level will be 373 from these highs and then also from these lows. Apart from that, I don't see much of a pattern or any divergence, and you did actually have classic bearish divergence up over here, and that's currently playing out, and it says earnings are on the 2nd of September, so that is correct. Watch out for that. Tattooed Chef. It was looking good from a technical standpoint. It broke out of it. All right, so back over here, we were talking about Tattooed Chef, right? The bullish bat double bottoming at the PCC. Then it ended up running and then it turned into a falling wedge and was looking bullish again going into earnings, but earnings didn't work out. Very similar to SOFI. Looked pretty good heading into earnings from a technical standpoint, but earnings didn't really go the best way, and that overrided the technicals. So at this point for Tattooed Chef, it's currently at a make or break area, kind of. I mean, this zone over here, this mid $15 area, really like 15 to 16, this whole entire range. It's been your high and low area many times. It was your high over here, low over here, kind of low over here, and then we'll see what happens here. You do have a gap fill to around $20, a little bit shy of 20. If it breaks under 15, then it could have room back down to 14. So that's really all I would be looking at right now on Tattooed Chef. And yeah. Next up is LAC. It might be trying to break out right now. I think this would probably be the breakout area around $17. It was your high from October 5th of last year and your high from June 7th of this year. You broke above it. The last time you did, you ran all the way up to almost 21. Then you came all the way back down to the 200-day moving average. Perfectly bounced off of that, and now you're trying to break back above it. So yet another stock at a potential make or break area. And those are all your levels on the chart. Next up is ALLO. This was a failed trade. Let's see if there's anything to update on it right now. Alrighty. Not really any textbook harmonics here, not at the best zone for that. Let's see if there's a better way to look at it. Not too sure here. Pretty tough to get like a good read on this. Alright, so I think that'll probably be your demand line. And then maybe this. So just like a downsloping channel slash wedge. Your closest support is kind of like $21.16 from your lows in February and your lows at the end of last month. And after that, you got like a little bit of like a support from last week at around $20.59, and then if you end up breaking that, then like really 17 is your final level. And then resistance is 25. That used to be your major support from last year. You broke under it. That's your new resistance. Keep hitting that like button. Let's get to 60 likes right now. Charge point will be the final ticker of the night, so don't drop any more tickers in the chat. I'll drop some dashes, so you know. Etsy, pretty neutral to me, just kind of chopping around over here. I like that it's slightly above 190, which was your support earlier this year, but this whole entire area is just kind of neutral looking to me. So 190 is your current support, and then also you have your 200-day moving average at 187.7. If you break that, then it could have room back down to 175. If you can hold it, then your next major resistance would be 225. Other than that, not much to look at on the chart. SOFI, I want to see SOFI get back above 1475, which was the support multiple times previously this year. That's the important level to me. It broke under it after a failed earnings, or a not well reacted to earnings, and now it's back down. So I want to see it get back above that level, like for sure. Yeah, I was gonna do XRP. Thank you for reminding me. I think I got distracted with Chainlink. But that XRP will be the final one for the night. SOFI, I mean, there's still the gap fill to 1671, but again, it's just those are your levels on the chart. Apart from that, there's not much you can do after the gap down from earnings. Tesla, look at that. We talked about this, I think, last night. The bullish pin bar over the 200-day moving average got followed through with a green day, which might have actually helped out the ARK not be down 1% today. I think Tesla's one of their biggest holdings, if not the largest holding. Can't remember though. So that's good. Nice bounce day. Your next resistance is around 712. I mean, really, it was finding resistance at like 727-ish is where it was finding resistance at, which is not really historical, but that's where it decided to show some resistance. I think as long as it continues to close above the 200-day moving average, it looks fine to me. If it can't, then your next support would be 620-ish. Still kind of looks like Wyckoff accumulation. It obviously could fail, but that's the read that I'm getting from this chart. OCGN is next up. You have some hidden bullish divergence developing right over here for OCGN. on the daily MACD, not on the RSI. Your major support though is like 627, which you're not currently at just yet. No divergence on the daily, and that's really about it. I wish there was more to talk about on a lot of these charts, but like I always say, most of the time you're not going to have a lot to talk about. So that just goes to show how insane the Clover chart is, right? On most of these charts I'm looking at, I really can't even find one or two solid variables that are either bearish or bullish. I just kind of see neutral readings. But then we go over to the Clover chart and there's like probably 7 or 8 things that all are bullish. But again, doesn't mean Clover's going to go up for sure to, you know, tomorrow or next week or the week after. It just means you have probabilities, and there's a decent chance of those many variables playing out. But could it go lower before going higher? Yeah, it could, but time will tell. You never know. It's just, you know, these are the kind of things you want to look at. How many variables can you spot on a chart? The more, the merrier. As long as there's strong variables. I'm not telling you to go and throw 3,000 indicators onto your charts, but you know, getting a solid list of indicators and finding 4 or 5 of them is typically how you increase your probability. But again, no amount of indicators will give you certainty. All you can do is increase probability, but you can never get certainty with trading on technicals. So yeah, OCGN, that's really all I can do. Sorry. And then charge point, finally, your major support is 1942 from your quadruple bottom earlier this year. Apart from that, don't really see much else. I wish I did, but don't want to make up random things if there's not that I see clearly on the chart. And for right now, that's the level I want to see hold above. I don't know if it's even going to get down there, but if it does, I want to see it bounce off of it. Your resistances are 29.36 and 32.50 to the upside. And then XRP, taking a look at this chart, I mean, it just ran, you know, first thing I'm going to do is just zoom out and look for the historical levels. So first off, 75 cents was your high over here, your highs over here. That's the support now because you broke above it. Also, like the mid 90-cent area was your high over here. If we zoom in, was your low over here. Even for 2 days, look at this. Once it broke above it, it kind of back tested it for 2 days before going even higher. So that's really it for the daily chart. I mean, not much apart from that. Maybe this was a Gartley. Let me see if that actually was. Oh my gosh. XRP was a perfect Gartley with the double bottom. Hit the double bottom and now it's ran. I mean, this is harmonics for you. You got a bullish Gartley, hit the PCZ once, it hit the PCZ twice, and it went up about 160% after that. So yeah, that's crazy. That's one thing you can learn from this chart. So I mean, if you look at the daily right now, there's not much to talk about, so let's just zoom in. On the 4 hour, you actually do have some stuff to talk about. You got maybe a little bit of like a bull flag that it's already broken out of, and then you also have developing hidden bullish divergence on the MACD and RSI, which means you made a higher low on price but a lower low on your RSI and your MACD, and now you broke out this flag. So textbook target would just be the top of the flag around 135-ish, and then your support 105 from, we kind of zoom out, from this high over here, and then also these lows over here. So those are your 2 levels. It's even back testing the breakout. So your previous supply line or down sloping trend line that was your resistance is now your demand line, or down sloping trend line that is now support. And yeah, Christopher says, thank you, man, keep doing what you're doing, appreciate it. Jack says, thanks for the 4 hour stuff, didn't even think to analyze that. Yep. So yeah, that's going to be it for the stream. Thank you for all the tips tonight. Thank you for all the support. Make sure to hit that like button if you didn't already. Let's get to 60 likes. Hit that subscribe button as well if you're new to the stream. Join the Discord, the link's in the description. Hope you all have a great day trading tomorrow. Good luck to everybody. I'll be live again tomorrow night for the final stream of the week at 9 p.m. EST. Scrooge says, thanks, Champion Vibe. This stuff never gets old. Appreciate that, Scrooge. Hope you're doing well. And thank you for all the support you've thrown my way. And just as I'm ending the stream, Mehdi decides to show up. I'm sure he was napping or something. He always messages me like, oh, sorry, I was sleeping. But it's all good, Mehdi. We know you work hard. Hope you're doing well, Mehdi. What's up, Chris, in the chat? Jack says, cheers. I'm going to look into the premium service. Good stuff, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, the link is in the description for that. KTF says, thanks for the vibes. You got it. Max as well. Of course he fell asleep. I knew it. We caught him lump. We caught him lacking. We caught him napping. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the stream. I'll be live again tomorrow night. Just a final reminder, we are doing the workshop, the private workshop on Saturday. So if you were already considering premium, this is one extra thing you can get if you sign up before this weekend. So the workshop will be on Saturday afternoon. It'll mainly be about day trading and risk management. So I might even try and talk about options, like options risk management on that, even though I did put out an options video on my channel. And again, if you haven't seen the full course on my channel, it's under the playlist section. So if you are attending the private workshop, watch the course first before the weekend or after, whenever you have time. And yeah, all the links are in the description. Have a great night and peace out. Jim, literally, my mouse was on the end stream button the second you tipped. Thank you very, very much for the $10 tip. You said, thanks, CLOV. You are a hardworking young man. Don't change a thing. Thank you very, very much, Jim. I remember you chatting the stream last night. Appreciate the $10 tip. I don't know if there's anybody still in the stream right now, but if anybody is, drop vibes in the chat. How about this? I'll drop vibes in the chat for you. Thank you very much, Jim. Have a great night. Hope you're doing well. And I'll see you again tomorrow night on stream. So appreciate the $10. Oh, Scrooge is in the chat. All right, Scrooge helped me out there. Thank you, Scrooge. Oh, okay, so we got some lurkers hanging around, right? We got spiderwebs in the chat as well. All right, perfect. All right, everybody have a good night. See you all tomorrow. And for the third time, peace out. I don't know. Bye.